So that day, my mom's car broke down, and she was in San Bernardino. My brother was locked up as well. He did 14 years in prison. My dad was still an alcoholic. You know, he wasn't beating on her as much, but he was still drinking. And so she called me, and you know, my mom speaks 3 different languages. So she was a deacon at the church and also an interpreter. And she's like, "Oh my gosh, my car broke down. It overheated." So I went and I picked her up, and that, you know, she didn't try to convert me or anything. She was just like, "I need you to drop me off at church." And I was like, "Okay, Mom, but just so you know, right, I know how these Christians get. You know, they're trying to like indoctrinate me, you know." And I was like, I had that vibe, right? And I was like,
and by the way, your dad poured into you, saying stuff like only women are there because they're easily brainwashed,
Right.
like all these things. So
Yeah.
what your father did pour into you wasn't a good look at Christianity.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so as I'm, explaining this to her, she's like, "It's okay." She was like so busy. She's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm late." Like she's about to have a panic attack, like anxiety through the roof. And so we get there, and I roll down the window, obviously, and you smell the black bean noodle. Right? And that's one thing about a prisoner is they'll tell you, if you've been to prison, the 2 things that's most important to them is food and letters or visitation, right? That all comes in a package. So when I smelled that, I had just gotten out of prison, and I try to keep it gangster, like in my heart, I was like, "Dang, this smells fire."
What does that mean? Like,
but
I'll pull up on you.
Yeah, but I was like,
but I don't want to read nothing.
Yep, that's basically what it was, bro. I was like, "Oh yeah, how you doing, Pastor?" But in my head, I was like, "Please invite me in." Honestly, So
Hey,
yeah.
but that's such a good perspective. Because like, I think a lot of us get intimidated because we're like, no, they'll shut it down. But you're saying in your heart you did want to get invited.
I did.
Amen. Okay,
Yeah,
please
yeah.
continue.
So, he actually didn't invite me in right away, which I thought was crazy. He said, "We have these to-go containers. I can package it for you and send you on your way." And me being Asian, we break a lot of bread, right? Family style, all that. So I was like, man, for some reason that day, which I know now is God, put it in my heart to say like, "Hey, this is disrespectful if you just take the food and then, you just dip out like that." So I was like, "You know what, Pastor, I'll come in." And he's like, "Oh," like he was shocked. And he's like, "Okay, cool." So we sat down, and he was just, after we ate it, best black bean noodles I've ever had.
I bet it was from the
honestly.
Lord.
Right, best, bro. Man, it's crazy. But the one thing he asked me was, two questions. He said, "Are you a sinner? And do you know what sin is?"